Hey beer tippers, Ryan back with another episode of San Diego Beer Vlog. Thanks for joining me once again. Going to do another review out of a growler, only because on Fridays, Karl Strauss, hence the big Karl on the growler, they have special growler fills for $8. So I got this thing filled up for $8, and it's one of their new Coastal Reserve Series releases. I really haven't seen it around in bottles. I don't know if it's that limited or not, but this is their Boardwalk Black Rye. It's a little fuzzy what the style's trying to be on this beer. It's almost like a black rye IPA, kind of, because it's supposed to have some hops, and it's definitely on the dark side. So it's 8% beer, 80 IBUs, and they say it's 80 SRM, which is the standard rate measurement, how dark the beer is. And as you can see from the pour, I got about a finger of head, pretty small bubbles, not bad out of a growler that's, you know, been around for a day. Got this one fairly straight out of the fridge, so we will let it warm up. But yeah, I can't see anything through that. Thing's pitch black. Nose, mostly get hops. And there's a spice note in there too, so it's probably not from the malt, probably more from some spicy hops they use. Maybe something like a Saaz. Just got some coffee, like roasted notes, but mostly like a sweeter citrus, like a sweet orange mixed with like sweeter grapefruit. And that comes from the hop they're using, Ahtanum. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, which is sort of like a hybrid between Cascade and Amarillo. So if you know those two hop varieties, it's kind of what that brings to the table with this beer. So it smells pretty hoppy, but there is a decent malt backbone into it. But let's dig in. Cheers. Huh, that's really interesting. It's first of all, it's probably too cool to drink this right now, straight out of the refrigerator. But it's very smooth all the way through. There's definitely some bitterness in there, but it's not like big time, you know, wreck your tongue kind of, you know, IPA like bitterness. Definitely bitterness between the malts and the hops kind of working together on this one. I actually get most of the hops in the back end. Up front I kind of get this spicy coffee, chocolatey malt backbone up front. Yeah, good amount of rye in there. Definitely some breadiness that kind of works right after that, and that kind of, think dark beer up front, and then in comes some of the spicy breadiness, and then the back end is where the hops are at. Kind of plays on that spice. A little bit of like bitter citrus, you know, like a bitter orange, and then some slight kind of sweeter orange notes in there as well, and then a little more breadiness with the finish. So yeah, I don't know, it's not quite a black IPA. It's different from, say, Stone Sublimely Self-Righteous or Deschutes' Hop in the Dark. So it's pretty interesting. It's not really, you know, it's kind of maybe like a stout base, but then there's a good amount of rye character in this one. So I'm gonna let it warm up, see how the flavors do, and get back to you. Okay guys, I've been drinking a little more on Karl Strauss's Boardwalk Black Rye Ale. Definitely changed a little bit as I've let it warmed up. I've really noticed some spiciness on the end come into play. Almost white pepperish. Not quite into like heat, but it kind of is going that way. And probably a combination of the rye and the hops they're using. Also, speaking of hops, not only do you get a little of that sweeter orange, definitely some floral notes come in to get floral character on the back end. For an 8% beer, it drinks like a much lower beer. I mean, it drinks almost like 5-6% beer. You really can't taste any alcohol at all, and it's a solid medium mouthfeel. Not a big, thick, you know, dark malt backbone, but get some really nice roastiness, big breadiness in there as well. You kind of up front get some chocolate, coffee notes in there. Nothing too like dominating, and then what's weird is usually on most of the black IPAs I get the hop character up front of the tongue's big, and then the back end is all dark beer. This one kind of goes opposite, which is pretty interesting how it drinks. I mean, on my palate, I get dark beer up front, and then the hop notes kind of come in the back of the tongue. They kind of linger a little bit, and you get less of the dark beer on the finish. But also, it's weird as it warms up. Usually the hops will maybe fade. Your tongue gets used to it. This one actually gets a little hoppier the more I'm letting it warm up. A little more bitter, which does remind me, you know, more of like a black IPA. But this one, I don't know. It's kind of different. It's sort of imperial because it's 8%. Dark beer. There's the rye component. Really interesting beer. I'm gonna go B+ on this one. I think it's really solid beer. Definitely above average. Doesn't quite wow me like an A beer does, but it's pretty close. I think it's really well brewed. Smooth drinking beer. It's kind of scary how easy I should be able to finish the rest of this growler because yeah, 8%, can't taste it. Try to grab a ball if you can. I had a little trouble finding it around here. I didn't completely seek it out at every spot that I go to, but definitely worth picking up. Maybe I'll try to get an image of the bottle so you can recognize it, but if not, go get, you know, Fridays, $8 growler fills at Karl Strauss. Can't beat it. For I mean, for the price of a little more than a bomber, you can get a whole growler. So recommend doing that. And cast nights, Thursday nights at Karl Strauss are always awesome too. So that's gonna wrap it up for this review. Till next time, please comment and subscribe. Cheers.